Good evening, USA. As a university English instructor, I'd like to have a chat about the controversy surrounding the US's Second Amendment. Right? So here it is. Not quite certain as to why people, pardon the pun, are up in arms over this. I don't see why there's a controversy. So let's analyze it. Okay? We are not going to focus this conversation on belief. We're going to look at evidence, to accept what the evidence leads us to. That's it, right? So let's carry on here. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Grant, okay? So proper sentence. It's not a list, it's a statement. Now, a lot of people seem to sort of read lots of things into this, which I don't know where it comes from. So I didn't see anything in what we've just read, which is the actual amendment about tyrannical government protection. No, that is not it. Yes, okay, I could say from terrorists. I can see how one might interpret that, of course, because it's security of the free state. Muslims, Sharia law, no, it's madness. I didn't see anything of that in the Second Amendment. And this gent believes that it gives him the right to own certain things. So he says that he wants a tank. And the reason for his desire for tanks, he claims he should be equally armed with whatever the government has, which is madness, really. Sorry, it's a bit far-fetched, right? Because, the government has the Pentagon, F-1 fighters, nuclear submarines, what else, for Christ's sakes? Battleships. I mean, it's madness. But, there we are. Some people are barking. Sorry to say that, but there we are, a bit harsh. So back to the statement. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It's made up of 4 clauses. But let's get to that. Let's analyze who wrote it, right? A scholarly gent, one of your founding fathers, by the name of James Madison. He also served as your 4th U.S. president. And he's also known as the father of the Constitution. Now in 1791, this was ratified and became part of the Constitution. It is made up of 4 clauses, as I said. Clause 1, Clause 2, designated by the use of a comma. So the first clause, a well-regulated militia, okay? This is actually called the introductory clause, okay? If you're not aware of that, well, it is. Introductory clauses introduce, we'll get to this, well, let me go through them firstly, sorry. Being necessary to the security of a free state, clause 2. Clause 3, the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Clause 4, shall not be infringed. Now, well-regulated militia is the introductory clause, because why? We announce the subject, okay? We simply announce the subject, and then we're going to explain why we need to have this. What's this conversation? So, carry on. But let's start with, take a look at the word militia, okay? And well-regulated militia, why not? Militia, well, no. Well-regulated militia is what you would see today as the National Guard, the Oregon National Guard, the Florida, California National Guards. They make up today's modern militia. Not these types. These gents bit off their trolley. But let's forgive them for being, I don't know, sort of worrywarts. So the second clause is being necessary to the security of a free state. Why? Because it supports the contention held within the first clause, which says it supports the subject, right? We need this why, and that they've explained. We got to be secure. I like that, okay? It makes perfect sense. So far, the structure of the sentence is grand. State. I wanted to stop for a moment to talk about that. quite often get people ask me about the capitalization of the word state, but it's really not a bother. I'll explain a bit later in detail about that. But let's take a look at the word state. Oxford Dictionary, defines it as the civil government of a country. Services, as in services provided by the state. Okay, so it's a properly used word. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Now this third clause also supports the militia, right? Because we've been talking about the militia, why it's there, who's it made up of? It's made up of the people. It's those people in the militia. Okay. Actually, those people in the well-regulated militia, not Billy Bob and his mates in the streets calling themselves a militia. No, it's not it. And then lastly, the fourth clause also supports the well-regulated militia, because the people making up the militia need to be armed and take them home and be ready for service when needed. So again, that is the subject. End of. It really cannot, I know it's debated, but it shouldn't be. It's a waste of time. So there you are, a statement, not a list, nothing, okay, other than a properly structured sentence. Now, I do have a problem with it only with its with the use of the capitalization in the S, also with the absence of a hyphen. The hyphen, I would have inserted it, because the hyphen here is labeling the militia. James Madison is being very specific about the type, because he didn't want to have just a street gang and calling themselves militia. So he said a well-regulated. But when you create a term, to label something by joining words together, you need the hyphen. Okay, and we know he's specifying well-regulated militia, and he's using the article, the A. It's called an article, if you didn't know that. So he's pointing out, he said, A, this, that, the well-regulated militia. Sorry, but that's all. I mean, he's left it, and okay, I'm okay with that. But if you do, to back me up here, if you do put it into Word, you'll see that the well-regulated has got a little notification of grammar error, as well as the word free, which we'll get to as well here. So if you put in the hyphen there, the underscore, the notification of incorrect punctuation is gone. And if you look over here as well, you'll see that the underscore has gone under the word free, because I've changed the S to lowercase. That's it. Other than that, there you are. I think that's a grand statement. I don't see any need to repeal it, because it stated what the President, James Madison, had intended for it. It clearly does. So if this is all you know about the Second Amendment, you are wholly mistaken, and you take it out of context. Okay? Thus I have to say, shame on you, because it is not that. So let me give you an example. I've written this little statement here. The people are entitled to free lunches. Brilliant. We would think that everybody, from this context, everybody's entitled to free lunches. However, if you keep it all in context, I've written, for their work on the local library project, the people are entitled to free lunches. If that's all you talk about, you're doing the same thing, taking it out of context as those people who believe the Second Amendment. And I use the word believe there because they're mistaken. And so shame on you. So there it is again, right? One whole statement. You can't pick and choose little bits out of it. It's all united, as people should be, actually. Sorry, a bit of preaching there. So if you have an issue with that, I would certainly maybe pick up a textbook, have a go, understand sentence structure, maybe take an English course. That would probably be a good idea. And lastly, if you can't, then grab a box of your favorite tissue and have a good cry. All right, thanks for your time.